Okay, so today I'm in Dorset with a well-known face on the race courses, Dave Swampy Clarke.
All right, Simon.
Yeah, good. Thanks, Dave. Now you've been a fixture on the race course pretty much as long as I remember being there, in various guises. I mean, how long has that been a full-time job for you?
Probably about 30 years or more now. Started off point to points and with Dad in the silvering, and picked up a bit of work here and there as much as you can. 30 years or more.
Right, let's get this bit out of the way first. So, christened, well, I don't know if you're christened or not, but given your name David Clarke, but universally known and loved in the betting ring as Swampy. Now, it's always been Swampy as far as I know, so where's that come from?
It's been Swampy nearly from day one. A visit to Newbury Racecourse, and courtesy of Neil Wilkins, the SP reporter, took one look at me and my, shall we say, long dreadlocks. He goes, "What the?" To Kenny Wager, who I was helping out that day. "Have you dragged him from the bypass? Is it Swampy?"
Now, for anybody that doesn't, anybody lucky enough to be so young they don't know about Swampy, he was actually an eco warrior, as they used to call him, wasn't he? And he was sort of he was up in the trees trying to stop was it the bypass?
It was the Newbury bypass. Yeah. They were protesting. They had their tents in the trees. Yeah. He's an eco warrior. He's not the brightest tool in the book, which is almost an insult when you really delve into it. But yeah, it's stuck, and it was quite easy. You go call in a bet down to Swampy with a ring.
Because he was quite he became a household name, didn't he?
Yeah.
For his eco worrying.
Yeah.
Worrying. Yeah. So anyway, so you were called Swampy because of your long dreadlocks. I don't think I remember actually ever
They
seeing
didn't
that.
Last long.
No, but you still got called Swampy anyway. And also, you were a vegan before it became a fashion accessory.
I was. I chose to go vegan 34 years ago, and I was vegan for 18 years. Probably the only vegan bookmaker on the racecourse.
Yeah, I remember Wendy Perry saying that the only choice you had on menus is onion rings.
It wasn't easy in those days. There was no meat-free, plant-based diet, and yeah.
So when everybody else went vegan, you decided to bin it.
No, that was another choice.
So, but I mean, just go back to this. So you was that your lifestyle? Were you part of that sort of new age traveller type thing, as it was called at the time?
Yes, I was a bit of a traveller for a while. I did live in a bus for 10 years before I came racing.
I can let everybody know we're not recording this in a bus now, so he's moved on from that. So you're going to the racing. Your career spanned the days of chalk and tickets and field book, where everybody complained about carrying the tripod, and now it's thousands of pounds worth of kit and computers and all that stuff.
So
you've seen it all sort of change. Which era do you prefer?
Well, I thought about this one, and I don't think there's actually an era I prefer. Everything changes. The days of book and tickets were great. I was a damn good clerk. Mental maths is quite easy. But, nowadays, a bit of the colour's gone, but there's still colour in the betting ring. So, yeah, no preference to an era.
Now, you're saying that the mental arithmetic was easy. So once again, for people that might be watching this that have only ever known computers and whatever, quick description of how a clerk would put the bets in the field book.
The bookmaker would call 8 3/4 to 5.
If he was a good bookmaker.
If he was a good bookmaker. 7 to 4 to 5 quid if he was a bad one.
13 to 8 to 5. Yeah.
1,000 to 60, 100 to 16, and the odds of place down to cap. But generally it was ticket number. So they'd have a box, but a bundle of tickets, 1 to 1,000. So each bundle was 1,000 bets. Each called bet had a ticket number, and you had to put it down to which horse, return, stake, odds of place, and tally up so that the bookmaker knew that Favourite lost him £800 and he was holding 4. So yeah,
And just keep the running total
keep
on
a
there.
running total. Let him know where he was before the off of the race, so we could hedge if we needed. Cash hedging in the ring was the thing then. There was no internet, there was no phones. Yeah.
And with the bookmakers you work for, I mean, we're going to talk about them all independently in a minute, but there were some that were layers and there were some that wanted to have them boxed up.
Yeah.
I mean, Jacqueline always used to say to me, make sure you got the takeouts right, forget about the field money. Because if the takeouts are up together, then the field money's all right. Did you have to work differently for different people?
Yeah. Some of the silvering books were, pretty much trying to be green. Dad was have the favourite for £100, the second in a taker, everything else a winner. Derek Barnes was a bit more, we did like to box them up, but he wasn't afraid to stand horses.
So also, we're going to talk about it later, you've also been quite a serious punter. You've sort of gone into it in depth.
I'm not afraid of having a bet.
But you've not done it for fun?
No. If I was losing, I would try not to do it. It's not fun. It's like you want to make money at it.
Okay, so we're going to go retrospective in a minute. So bang up to date now. For the last 6 years, you've been working for one of the racecourses most, I would say, prolific bookmakers, Sid Hooper. So what's your role there? Because a lot of people have seen you on course scurrying about.
You'd probably call me racecourse manager, I guess, but I dog's body. I do all the IT support. I keep all the figures up to date. I represent him on some of the best pitches in the country.
And it's quite a big operation. So I mean, people sort of say, why does he need? I don't know. What's the most number of pitches he's got on any track at the minute?
We've got 8 at Cheltenham for the festival meeting, so that would be our biggest single. We got 6 at Royal Ascot, 4 at Glorious Goodwood, but multiple pitches pretty much everywhere. Very few now. We've only got singles. So
the reason for that is just the weight of money you can field.
It's the value you can get out of multiple pitches. Yeah,
must be a logistical nightmare as far as staff's concerned.
That's John's job.
You don't have to deal with the staff.
I don't have to do the stuff.
Well, you'd have to dodge the bullet there, Dave. John, I would get Dave sorting that out as well. Now, from my angle, Cheltenham this year was as near to the good old days as I ever dared dream we'd see again. I mean,
this year was a buzz. The first day was brilliantly busy. The second day was as normal, quieter, but then the Thursday and Friday, it felt like a Cheltenham of old. The buzz was there. It was great. Yeah. I found from where I was watching and getting involved that there was a lot more hedging going on. Bookmakers were hedging. What did you think attributed to it? Well, the value you can get in the ring and spreading it about, really. Sharing the lumpy business is good for the ring. Gives everyone a bite of the cherry.
But the punters appeared again, didn't they? They seem to have been vanished the last...
There were less of the sort of real lumpy 40 grand punters, but there were more of the 2, 3, 5, £10,000 punters.
Yeah, and a lot more of the £1,500 punters as well.
Yeah.
Don't think we're offering £2.50 each way, hardly.
No.
But so anyway, going right back to the beginning, you were born into the game pretty much. Your dad Jim is still a rails a boards bookmaker.
Yes, he is.
And he still comes out every now and again. I know he's got his oppos doing it most of the time, but
he does the points and he'll come out on nice days.
Yeah,
I mean he's 85 this year. So.
Yeah, he's the oldest bookmaker at the points. He must be.
Yeah.
So what are your early memories about race courses and?
Wow. The earliest true memory probably would be as a 9-year-old being taken to Badbury Rings point to point by my parents, having my 50p's on with bookmakers, and I bet 7 winners out of 7. Thought the game was easy.
Was your dad standing then?
He wasn't standing then. No, he was Southern Area Manager for Heathorns. And so I was dragged into betting shops, credit offices all my life.
So was he a fairly late comer to the on-course game then? Because he's always been there
Yes.
as long as I can remember, I think.
When buying and selling came in, he invested then
Right.
in racecourse pitches, and he'd had his name on the point-to-point waiting list for years. So yeah.
Yeah, so the betting ring was part of your life, but as a punter rather than working. And you went through the card at Bradbury Rings. I'm assuming you weren't. Were you heading to the form book in those days? Or did you you were just at the lucky streak?
Back the favourites, 50p each way, a 2-on shot. Yeah, and 7 or 4. Went away with about £9. It was that good.
Was your did your dad sort of give you any advice?
No.
Did he just let you loose?
Let me loose. Yeah.
Better not mention any bookmakers. They're still retrospectively nick 'em for laying you, I expect. Given the way
Over 50 years ago, I think the
given the way
statute
it
of
is
limitations long passed on that one.
So
Times were different then, weren't they?
Well, so tell us about when your dad worked for Hawthorns. What was he doing there?
He ran the south of England for them, credit office and the betting shop estate. Yeah.
What happened to them, Hawthorns?
They sold up. The betting shops. Well, Dad left before them, but yeah, the betting shops went, and eventually the credit office went. I think Blue Square bought the credit business.
Yeah, I was trying to think because it's relatively recently, isn't it? The last 20 years or so, something like that. Okay, so and you learnt to Clarke on course for your dad,
Yes,
or did you know how to Clarke? Did he teach you how to do
He
that?
taught me how to do it. Yeah.
And was he a very patient? I can't imagine him being all that patient. Actually, Jim, he was a bit brusque.
No, he was quite patient. Mind you, I was quite quick with the figures, so it was I probably didn't even know if he's not patient or not.
Wasn't very patient with me when I couldn't get 4 monkeys back from
Well, no.
Roy Ascot.
It wouldn't be. That's a different thing.
Right, Dave, we'll go on to the various bookmakers you work for in the next part.